For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. Let's talk a little Jeff Hafley on Edgerrin Cooper. That sound good, boys? And what I thought we would do is let's do a little Edgerrin Cooper profile. That sound good?
Let's do it.
Talk a little bit about his upbringing or his high school days, his college, all that stuff. Just a little write up on him. This was Jeff Hafley at the presser today. If you will give
that face right there, the little look right there.
I love it.
Come on now.
Yeah, it was Matt Schneidman. He was giving that look too. It was hilarious. But yeah, you can throw that screen grab up for me, Tim. Thank you. That's a perfect one for this. This was Jeff Hafley asked about Edgerrin Cooper. All right, and then we'll get into the article we put together. Here we go. And keep in mind, I wish you could watch his mannerisms. Should we try? We shouldn't try to get away with it, should we? We probably shouldn't.
He said, "Should we try?"
Should we try to get away with it? Because his mannerisms are like, you could probably hear it in his voice, I'm sure. Yeah. I'll try to replicate it here in a second. Here we go.
We won't be asking you this season about what Edgerrin Cooper needs to do to get on the field more. What is the next step for him after the rookie year he had?
Consistency. We talked and sometimes joked about, he might have had that gap, but he made the play over there, right? I think there was a toss run over there that instead of going over the top of the blocker, somehow he ran underneath the blocker and still made a TFL. Now it's getting the details down. Now it's lining up exactly where he needs to line up and doing it over and over and over again, because then he's going to show up faster and he's going to make more plays and he's going to become a more consistent player. And have you guys seen him at all lately?
It's right here. He said, have you guys seen him at all lately?
I love this part.
Yeah. I'm going to try to duplicate this.
I mean, when you see him now, he looks different.
He went, this is how his face looked. I mean, when you see him now, like he looked concerned almost for offensive players.
He's bigger now. I mean, he's got to be close to 240 pounds. I mean, this is year 2 from him. For him, he knows what it's going to take. He knows what he has to do now to stay healthy. Because as much as we talked about not having him on the field last year, he was injured quite a bit where he missed a lot of time and didn't practice and couldn't play. Now he knows what it's going to take to stay healthy in this long season. And you can tell he dedicated that time and took care of his body and he changed his body. And now when you sit with him in that room, he's locked in and he's focused. And now he knows what he's doing. Your first rookie year can kind of be like survival mode a little bit too. So he just needs to be more consistent. He's got to stay healthy and, continue to improve. And he's a guy that we're really excited about because he can do a lot of different things too.
I love it, dude. Absolutely love it. So,
I really thought he was just going to hit. Have you guys seen him? He's
thick.
So you're talking about putting on 10 pounds, and I'm sure it's 10 pounds of muscle, right? When you look at what Edgerrin Cooper did last year and you listen to what Hafley talked about, he said, there was times that he went under the play and still made the play. He made the wrong decision where he should have went over the play. And what they're talking about is your gap assignment in the run game. Well, he's so athletic, he can make the wrong decision and still get to the play. And again, you look at Quay Walker and go, well, he's just as athletic. He could do it too. He could, but he's lacking that first step mentality, like that ability to get a half a step up on the offense, right? That's something that's not shined through in his game, and maybe that'll change. Hopefully it does. But with Edgerrin Cooper, what Hafley's saying there, Tim, is, this dude, when he takes the right angle, when he plays the play the right way, he's going to get there even quicker. Essentially what he's saying is we haven't seen the best version of Edgerrin Cooper yet, and that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and there's going to be more pop to those hits now too, right? With that extra mass flying at you, another I'm not going to use Jacob's term to describe it, but if he was here, you know what he would say. But no, this is awesome, man. That Coop's, getting bigger and better, right? And I wouldn't be surprised that, even with the added weight, he's gonna probably be, like you said, probably faster because he's probably going to process better. He's going to have more reps going into a camp healthy in year 2. I highly doubt we'll see any sophomore slump from Coop. If anything, we might see an all-pro season this year.
Yeah, and this is where we talk about coming out of college, getting through school, getting through the draft, getting through the process, OTAs, first mini camp, taking in the playbook, all that you're worried about your first year. Give them an off season where you can get on the NFL diet, the NFL, workout regimen, and see what they can really become. Putting on 10 pounds of muscle, I just want him to be like the Ray Lewis of this generation. That's what I've always wanted out of a linebacker. Just even if you not that same style, just that sort of impact. He's heading that direction, man.
Yeah. Ron Sample says Coop going to need a bigger horse. You got that right. Eric Sutherland says massive meat missile. There you go. There it is. Waiting on it. So here we go. Just we'll kind of dive into this right up. We got PFF grades attached, RAS, all that good stuff. Green Bay Packers hit a home run in the 2024 draft by selecting Texas A&M linebacker Edgerrin Cooper in the second round, a pick that is quickly proven to be a steal. The 23-year-old, known as Frosty, has emerged as a cornerstone for Green Bay's defense under coordinator Jeff Hafley. Standing 6'2", 230 pounds last season, Cooper's blend of speed, physicality, and instincts has fueled a historic rookie season, earning him NFC Defensive Rookie of the Month honors and 2 NFC Defensive Player of the Week awards. Guys, as a rookie, he was the best rookie or the best defensive player in the NFC 2 times out of 17 weeks last year.
You're right.
And we'll show you in the snap count here in a minute. Like, he didn't start ramping up his snap count till like week 4 or 5, right? With superstar potential, Cooper is poised to anchor the Packers linebacker core for years to come, bringing energy and disruption to Titletown. Look at that. Look at that guy right there in high school. You kidding me? That's Mr. Steal Your Girl right there, Tim.
I was just going to say, that's homecoming king right there. He had the ladies.
Scouting report coming out of high school. A native of Covington, Louisiana, Edgerrin Cooper was a standout at Covington High School, earning a 4-star rating in the 2019 class, ranked 163rd overall nationally by On3 industry ranking with a 92.38 grade. 6'2", 205-pound linebacker recorded 94 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks as a senior, showcasing his sideline-to-sideline speed and physicality. His senior tape highlighted explosive closing speed, a reported 4.5-second 40-yard dash, and a knack for disrupting plays in the backfield. Cooper drew offers from LSU, Oklahoma, Miami, and Florida State, ultimately choosing to commit to Texas A&M, where he developed into a first-round caliber talent. If you guys remember, there was a lot of first-round buzz on him. I honestly thought he was going to go in the first round. Now, we had him ranked in the 40s on our PTA big board, and that's right where he went. But I mean, there was many mock drafts leading up that year to having him go in the first round. So here were his PFF grades at Texas A&M. In 2020, he only played 1 snap in 2020. So I'm sure that counted as I guess it didn't count as a redshirt year because it did mention he was a senior. So maybe they got that wrong in the article. But a 60.1, then he jumps to a 64, then he jumps to a 66, and you're kind of looking at, all right, that's probably all this player is. And then bang, 2023 jumps to a 90.8. You're seeing ascension there. Now, the reason he was a little lower on our board, Emilio, and I know you didn't help with the board in 2024 or in the 2024 draft, but the reason he was lower on our board was because that 2022 grade, right? Kind of brung him down a little bit. And I was looking at him going, I don't know about this guy. It's like he's only done it for 1 year. Well, he proved that's here to stay, as obviously he stood out at the NFL level. So that's another example of when we build the board this year, let's use the better of the 2 grades somehow, some way. Because Jaden Reed, it would have worked. We would have had him higher on our board at that year. And obviously Edgerrin Cooper would have probably shown a first-round talent, like I said. Now, I honestly think the Packers might have had a first-round grade on it, to be honest with you. So college statistics, Cooper's 4-year career at Texas A&M saw him evolve from a rotational player to an all-SEC star. As a freshman in 2019, he played sparingly, recorded 3 tackles in 4 games. So that 1 snap must have been inaccurate there. 2020, he contributed 13 tackles, 1 pass defended across 10 games. His 2021 junior season marked his breakout with 58 tackles, 8.5 tackles for a loss, and 5 passes defended in 12 games. As a senior in 2022, Cooper led the Aggies with 84 tackles, 17 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception, earning first-team All-SEC honors. His 158 career tackles, 30.5 tackles for a loss, 8.5 sacks across 39 games showcase his versatility as a 3-down linebacker. He declared for the 2024 draft after a dominant senior campaign. It might have been a junior year technically because of that official red shirt, but I don't know. Maybe he was a senior. Here's the RAS card, fellas. No surprise. 9'1", measured in at 6'2", 230 pounds. Imagine what his RAS would be at 240 pounds now, Emilio.
Yep.
Going in the red of the 406. I guarantee you it's close. It's probably in the 8s or 9s there.
Mm-hmm.
So, vertical jump, 34.5 inches. Broad jump, a 9.10. His 40-yard dash, a 4.51 with a 2.64 20-yard split and an even better 10-yard split at 1.56. Shuttle, a 4.27 with a 3-cone, a 7 Is this what you're seeing at the NFL level, Emilio? You seeing this? I mean, it looks like it. This is another example of when RAS transfers to the NFL.
Right, because we always talk about middle of the defense is where you show your speed on defense, and when you don't have speed in the middle, it absolutely shows. We saw it last year how much it popped because we had a little bit more speed. Not like Quay's not fast, but maybe if he's playing a half a second slow or he's worried about getting everybody else in the right spot, all that. You can see that speed. The fact that he has elite speed is so true. And I'm just happy that we got our hands on him. 34 arm length wingspan, almost 10-inch hands. And then you go, I'm sure if you ran these numbers again, one with the weight, Clay, but two, like I'm sure his vertical's gotten maybe a little bit better. He's gotten a little bit more explosive. He's built up that leg strength that, maybe the 40-yard dash is a 4.55 at this point, but who cares? Because he's going to be moving faster, stronger laterally. That's what we worry about.
Yeah. And Tim, it's obvious they got a top man. As Holmes says here, Quay and Coop have almost the identical metrics. Now, I think Quay was 6'3" or 6'4", but they're basically the same type of player. If Quay pops this year alongside Edgerrin Cooper, and here's the other thing too. Don't be surprised if Edgerrin Cooper takes a step back either. That's totally normal in the NFL, your second year in the league, right? So there's a chance that could happen. He may drop into the 70s, according to PFF, right? He may not be as dominant as he was, but that doesn't mean, oh my God, it was just a one-hit wonder. No, that's how the league works, man, because they're going to see him on tape. Tim, he's going to become one of those Tuesday players where these coordinators go, all right, we got to really control 56 because he can wreck our game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think it's also going to be significant when he does rotate, off the field to see how an offense tries to attack us when they see that Coop's not in a package. It could give us an advantage defensively too as well. But I think you're right. I don't see a sophomore slump, but it does happen. And it's part of a career path for a lot of guys in the NFL. It's really difficult to just be a dominant force year after year after year for, a decade plus. So I wouldn't panic if maybe he gets off to a slower start or maybe, kind of getting used to that new body that he's stacked together during this off season. Possibly a different, new role in this Jeff Hafley defensive scheme. Right. He's certainly a guy you can use in a lot of different ways. I feel like Cooper can play multiple positions probably on both sides of the ball. I mean, he just strikes me as a dog, a football player, not just a linebacker. So it's going to be exciting, man. But yeah, the correlation between, Goody's type with those high RAS scores, you're starting to kind of see this project come to fruition when you look at guys like Quay and Coop back there, and Tyron Hopper taking a step could be huge for this linebacker room as well this year. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. This part of the article says his 13 tackles for a loss in 24, leading all NFL rookies, highlight his disruptive ability. Cooper's 91.4 PFF grade over the final 4 weeks of 2024 ranked him among the league's top defenders with 19 stops. That's tackles deemed offensive failures by PFF. While his coverage skills are developing, he had 2 passes defended in 2024. His blitzing prowess with 2.5 sacks and run-stopping instincts make him a 3-down threat. Critics note occasional over-pursuit, but his instincts and athleticism project him as a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. That's exactly what Hafley was just talking about. So when you look at the top defenders on this Packer defense, I mean, he was the highest graded amongst everyone on the Packers defense. 85.7 is what he finished the year with. Right behind him was Xavier McKinney with an 84.7, then Zane Anderson, 80.8, Jair Alexander, 75.2, Rashawn Gary, 73.0. So those are your top 5 defensive players. Now, when you look at the next 2, they're rookies as well. Katano Ladapo, 72.9, Evan Williams, 72.5, Brenton Cox Jr., surprised a lot of people, 67.2. And, of course, Devontae White, he hasn't gotten quite to the level we want him at, but with that pass rush grade of a 71.4 solid, him being a 66.4. For me, if you've been once you get to the NFL, I'm looking for 65 and above. That's kind of all right, 65, your NFL caliber. Below that, that's where I get into all right, boys, I don't know. We need to kind of amp it up a little bit.
65%.
65%. That's what You see Carrington Valentine there too, right? 65. Keyshawn Nixon right on the cusp with 64. But below that, you want to see those guys get, eclipse that 65 mark for sure. So
For sure. And to see Coop at the top of the list, I mean,
He was the best guy around.
exactly. Beyond his on-field exploits, Edgerrin Cooper's become a spark plug for the Packers' young defense. His infectious energy, evident in his loud celebrations after tackles for loss, has galvanized teammates like Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark. Cooper's work ethic and film study habits, praised by defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, set a standard for the linebacker room. Quote, "Coop's a guy who brings the juice every day." Hafley said in the January 2025 press conference, his ability to rally the defense combined with his Louisiana roots and relatable journey has made him a fan favorite and leader in Green Bay's quest for a Super Bowl. As you can see here, finished with an 85.7. And what I wanted to highlight here, Emilio, look at the snap count, man, right? Look how it got. I mean, literally week 1, what do you have, 11? Then he dropped to 7. Then he went up to 18. Then he went to 21. Then he jumps to 30. Then he jumps to over 40. I remember us talking about this.
I was just going to say.
We were like, all right, there we go. Now they're seeing something in Edgerrin Cooper. Man.
Those first couple of weeks, I remember we were guessing, is it going to be over 10? We going to get him to 15? Is he going to get to 20? And then it was, all right, are we getting 30 or more moving forward? And I like how they asked that question today, too, is, we were asking a lot of Edgerrin Cooper getting on the field, but Hafley made a great point. It was also because the dude was injured, right? I mean, he was battling injuries. He was trying to get back. So some of that time of him not being on the field, even if we thought that he needed to be, was just time needed off because he was hurt. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. But I do think that, it's also a player that, as you're looking at his PFF grades, obviously not everything, but it looks like he's getting better each year. Even moving into the NFL, he's still climbing. We don't want him to hit that peak right yet. That's exciting for me. And I'm just glad that he's getting those reps, and we'll see where he's at this year.
I think when you look at those snap numbers too, the thing that is really cool to look at is you're seeing that balance of utilizing him, passing snaps and run snaps. Again, showing the versatility. I mean, look at some of the numbers there. On the line, in the box, slot corner roll, playing wide, 2 snaps as a safety. You even had him on the back end. I mean, the guy's an absolute beast.
Yep.
No fun. All right, in conclusion, Edgerrin Cooper has transformed the Green Bay Packers defense, delivered a historic 2024 rookie season with those 13 tackles for a loss, a mark matched by only a few rookies since 2021. His speed, physicality, and knack for game-changing plays have earned him accolades, including NFC Rookie of the Month and all rookie honors from the PFWA. As head coach Matt LaFleur noted, quote, "He's got a superstar potential." With Cooper set to take on a larger role in 2025, his blend of talent and leadership positions him as a future face of the Packers defense. Now having added 10 pounds and a full NFL season of experience, Frosty is ready to shine on the road to the championship. I'll tell you, man, the big thing that stood out to me, too, about him was when Hafley said that 10 pounds, I immediately went, Gap Destroyer. He's there building him like a mock now. It kind of feels like that. Like a Will can be a little bit lighter. And you're in that nickel the majority of the time. You want that mock to be a little thicker.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like they're molding him to be that gap destroyer that a mock needs to be.
Should we keep our eye on Quay and see if they asked him to cut weight a little, get a little leaner in that, we already know that Quay can cover. He's probably one of the better cover linebackers, but it'd be kind of interesting to see how they build that linebacker room, man.
And, that might be the thing that unlocks Quay. What if they threw the green dot on Edgerrin Cooper, and this whole time we were overlooking that, man, just let Quay kind of eat as a will, Yep. That could be the case as well. Definitely could.
Right.
So, all right, there you go. There's your Edgerrin Cooper breakdown. I thought it'd be cool just to kind of give – I didn't know all of his story, didn't know where he went to high school, so earlier today got rained out and was like, you know what, let's break it down. Let's see what's up with Cooper. I thought that was really cool. So there was also some stuff I came across on the internet. I couldn't get it confirmed, that his family got displaced from Hurricane Katrina in 2005. I don't know if that was true or not. Maybe I don't know what year he was born or how, I couldn't find any confirmation on it, but AI was pulling from multiple sources. Like they thought that his team or his family might have been involved with Hurricane Katrina back in 2005, I believe. So maybe that was a part of the family story and not necessarily his, but I didn't want to put in the article not knowing if there was all that much truth to it. So, all right, let's move on to. We were gonna do the chalk talk, but there were so many pressers today. Let's throw it off for another day. I'm trying to save those chalk talks for when we don't have anything to talk about. We can dive into the tape. And Emilio, I know you got to go here in a minute, so you just cut out whenever you need to, bub. But I want to talk a little bit about DeMarcus Covington, the new defensive line coach. And Jeff Hafley actually had something to say about that hire earlier today as well. Tim, before you put the screen grab up for me, look at this face right here. We need to get this one as a screenshot. Don't look how pissed.
Oh man,
that's a good one.
That's even better than that one.
It is. They both serve a purpose. That one right there is anger. That one's a what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Here was Coach Hafley. If you'll pop that back up there for me, Tim, I appreciate it. Here was Coach Hafley talking about DeMarcus Covington, the new defensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers. And I wish I could turn the volume up, guys. It's cranked up. I'll fix it for the podcast, but just turn your TVs up for just a second.
Why the change at D-line coach, and how did you settle on Covington to replace that role?
Yeah, I'll go more into the second part more than the first. We interviewed a lot of guys, a lot of really good candidates. As soon as the season was done, that's, Matt, myself, and a few other coaches, we sat down and we interviewed a bunch of really good coaches. The style of DeMarcus, how he has taught in a lot of different systems and a lot of different schemes. They've done a lot over there. They're with Coach Belichick and some of the stuff he's done in New England. They've done a lot, and I like the fact that he can coach a bunch of different techniques. He's been involved with a lot of different fronts. I love his demeanor. I love the way he coaches. I love the relationship he has with his players. We did our homework on him. I kind of knew him when I was at BC. They came to practices. I went to practices, so I had a chance to watch him a little bit. Very, very smart, big picture guy, has been a coordinator, right? So he can bring some new ideas, some fresh ideas. I'm big on trying to stay ahead of things, right? So he brings some of that, from their scheme, maybe some of the stuff that we can add in that fits what we do. He just, to me, felt like a great hire, great person, character. And I'm glad that he's here. And I think he's done a really good job. I've sat in a bunch of those meetings now. He's a really good teacher. He's got a great progression on how he teaches. And I think he's very easy to understand. And I think he's done a very good job with those guys.
Love it. So obviously a teacher, first and foremost, it sounds like, is Covington's approach here. Emilio, I know you're going to have to go in a minute. I want to get your take on the surface here. I love what he said about the versatility of the New England Patriots defense. If you guys don't know, it's basically a hybrid defense. Belichick is they can play 4-3 one week, they can play 3-4 the next. That's how it's designed to work. And obviously Belichick isn't there any longer. But Covington, the reason it's important, as we'll talk about here in a second, Covington came up through the coaching ranks he was handpicked by Bill Belichick to be on his staff. And then when Bill left, he was handpicked by Gerard Mayo to be his defensive coordinator. But let's just talk a second about how important it is to be able to play kind of those hybrid fronts. And not that Hafley will press too deep into it, but it's nice to have somebody on the staff that can implement that if you decide to go in that direction.
Mm-hmm. I think being multiple is going to be huge. I think that the way he did it, Hafley, last year with the the sim pressures, the sim fronts, all that stuff, I think being able to be multiple, even if we are a base 4-3 now, you're going to get yourself in 3-4. You're going to be a 4-2-5. You're going to, what happens if you bring 3 and have 5 stacked behind them? Obviously there's not a lot of 3-3-5s or anything like that in the NFL, or like a 3-2-6, but you bring in these other options. You want to be able to have all your D linemen do that. And what I liked was when Hafley was also talking there, he was saying, like, I think our D line, I think our interior D line's in great shape. We have Kenny, we got Brooks, we got Wyatt, we got Wooden. He goes, there's a lot in there. I think that, we get Covington in there and teaching them, different stances, different takeoffs, engage, twist, stunts. I like that he's also been a D coordinator, and then he's kind of got all those ideas. Another brain to bounce ideas off of for Hafley, and just a guy that has experience and learned from a go. I mean, even when we listened to that. What was it, Coach with Bill and Lombardi and all them on there, even just listening to them talk on a podcast, just so much information there.
Yeah, and Tim, not just to bounce ideas off of him for Hafley, but also someone, if Hafley does leave next year, let's say the defense solidifies as a top 10, top 5 again, and he goes takes a job somewhere else, we now have, I think, 3 coaches on staff that have been defensive coordinators. At least 2. I think there's 3. I know you got Ansley, You've got Covington. I'm trying to think. I think there was a third somewhere too. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, this is your new run game coordinator too. And I got to say, man, I love the shirt he's sporting in this picture with the family at Gillette. It says "Trust Jesus" with a heart that looks like it's on fire. Absolutely love it. But what do you think, Tim, about anything we just covered, man? Versatility and all that stuff within the scheme.
Yeah, I think this is the Packer way, right? We like versatility in our players. Why not in our coaches? Why not in our scheme approach? Emilio brought up a great point. Yeah, we're a 43 defense, but that doesn't mean that that's etched in concrete. You have to be able to get into different looks. And when you've got a guy like Mr. Covington here, this is what he does, right? I mean, you talked about him running a hybrid defense for a number of years at a championship level. So I'm excited to see him go to work with those guys. Coach Ogabasi still in the mix too. I mean, the D-line group is it's going to be fun to watch this year for sure.
Yeah, it really is, man. And by the way, with his two sons here, we'll talk in greater detail and get into kind of his story. But the one on the right, you could tell he's a sweetheart, right? He's just a kid. This one over here, though, he's going to be trouble. You can just that's the one that's getting the other brother in trouble all the time. No doubt.
Absolutely.
Here's a deep dive on Coach Covington. The Green Bay Packers have welcomed DeMarcus Covington as their new defensive line coach and run game coordinator, a strategic hire aimed at bolstering their defensive front for the 25 season. With the wealth of experience from his time in New England and a reputation for developing strong defensive units, Covington brings a fresh perspective to Green Bay. This article explores his journey in his personal life and his coaching career, highlighting the path that led him to Lambeau Field. Personal life. DeMarcus Covington was born on March 30th, 1989. He's married to his wife, Natasha, and together they have two sons, Cassius. I hope I'm saying that right. Makes me think of Cassius Clay, which was Muhammad Ali's real name, right? Cassius and Cayman. A native of Birmingham, Alabama, Covington remains deeply connected to his hometown through his nonprofit football camp, Next Level, which he established in 2012. The camp provides a day of football-related drills and activities for the youth of Birmingham, reflecting Covington's commitment to giving back to his community. His dedication to family and community underscores the values he brings to his professional life, fostering a sense of togetherness and discipline that resonates with his coaching philosophy. So here he was coming out of high school. Guys, look at this. He was a 2-star recruit. What do they say? Those who can't teach, right? Guess what? He wasn't good enough to play in the NFL, so here he is, right? That's the way it works. Same thing with Hafley, I guarantee it. Matt LaFleur played quarterback. Wasn't good to play at the NFL. Those who can't teach. That's not a knock. That's just the people who love a profession and they're not quite good enough to play in that profession. They want to be around it. They want to be coaching. They want to be involved, right? It's kind of like what we're doing here. None of us were good enough to play at any extended level. We want to be around the game somehow, some way, right? Yep. And here we are with this sucky show. But anyway, he was 6 foot, 192. He was a wide receiver in the class of 2007 out of John Carroll in Birmingham, Alabama. Had a verbal commitment to Samford. All right, early life growing up in Birmingham, Covington was immersed in a vibrant sports culture that shaped his passion for football. He attended Woodlawn High School, is what it's saying. I think there was 2 high schools involved, but John Carroll was the official there in his recruiting status, where he began to hone his athletic skills. His early exposure to the game, combined with a strong work ethic, set the foundation for his future in football. Covington's determination and leadership qualities were evident within his youth, traits that would later define his coaching career. After high school, he pursued higher education in football at Samford University, a pivotal step in his journey. Look at that guy right there. You know, he's just looking to peel somebody's cap. Right?
Absolutely. Downhill. Take your head off.
He can block. As a player at Samford University in Homewood, Alabama, Covington played as a wide receiver for the Division I Football Championship Subdivision FCS Samford Bulldogs from 07 to 10. A 3-year starter, he recorded 62 receptions for 586 yards and 2 touchdowns during his collegiate career. Though not a standout star, Covington's experience on the offensive side of the ball gave him a unique perspective on the game, which he later translated into his defensive coach strategies. His time as a player instilled a deep understanding of teamwork, discipline, and the importance of fundamentals, all of which he emphasized in his coaching approach. Covington graduated from Samford in 2011, ready to transition in the next phase of his football journey. All right, so first-year coaching, Covington's coaching career began in 2012, just a year after graduating from Samford. when he took on the role of defensive graduate assistant at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, also known as UAB. At UAB, he worked under head coach Garrett McGee, immersing himself in the defensive side of the game. This initial role allowed Covington to develop his coaching acumen, focused on defensive techniques and player development. His time at UAB was a critical learning experience, exposing him to the intricacies of college football coaching and setting the stage for his rapid ascent to the profession, or in the profession, I should say. Covington's ability to connect with players and his keen eye for defensive strategy began to shine, earning him opportunities to advance. Tim, what I love about this is the fact that he was an offensive player, and when you play offense, you can kind of expose weaknesses on the opposing side of the ball, right, and vice versa. I love that he's kind of had a background as a wide receiver, and that molded him into a great defensive coach as he stepped into the coaching ranks. Like, hey, I know what gave us a hard time on offense.
Yep.
That's how you're going to attack it on defense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like, we had Bob Sala in the facility last year for some input, right? And it's here, that kind of the opposite, a defensive guy who's working with the OC and the offense, trying to give them perspective. So now, you look at Coach Covington and you see that versatility, like you said. So I think it's really cool. I mean, experience is the best teacher, right? So,
yep. And speaking of experience being the teacher, look at that picture of him and Bill Belichick together on the sideline, man. Like he was one of those young guys handpicked by Bill. Like, this dude's going to be a star in the league as a coach. Yeah. Covington's coaching journey is marked by a steady climb through the ranks, culminating in his current role with the Green Bay Packers. After his stint at UAB, he served as a defensive graduate assistant at Ole Miss from 2013 to 2014. Working in the competitive Southeastern Conference in 2015, he took on his first-time coaching role as a defensive line coach at the University of Tennessee, Martin. I think that was that picture right here, right? Him working with the defensive line. So he's got a lot of experience at different spots for sure. Followed by a position as co-defensive coordinator and defensive line coach at Eastern Illinois in 2016. These early roles showcase his ability to develop defensive talent and coordinate complex schemes. In 2017, Covington broke into the NFL, joining the New England Patriots as a coaching assistant under legendary head coach Bill Belichick. His versatility and work ethic earned him promotions, first to outside linebackers coach. And keep in mind, outside linebackers coach in that hybrid front or that hybrid defense with Bill Belichick means they have to be able to rush the passer and they got to be able to drop into coverage. They did a whole lot of both. I remember following along with his coaching scheme there throughout that time. Let's see, during this period, he contributed to the Patriots' Super Bowl victory in 2019 and helped the team rank among the NFL's top defenses in multiple categories, including run defense and pressure rate. New England ranked in the top 5 in the NFL in total defense, number 3 at 317.9 yards per game. Passing defense, number 3 in the league at 204.4 yards per game. Yards allowed per game. Number 2 at 5.1 in first downs allowed per game. Number 2 at 18.8 interceptions. Number 2 at 102 in interception percentage. Number 2 at 3.1. In third down defense, they were number 2 at 37%. So really, really were good on third down defense as well there. In 2024, Covington was promoted to defensive coordinator under head coach Gerard Mayo after Mayo's departure and the hiring of Mike Vrabel. Covington was not retained, paving the way for his move to Green Bay. Welcome to Titletown. On January 30th, 2025, the Packers hired Covington to replace Jason Rebrovich, tasking him with elevating the defensive front, featuring players like Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, Devontae White, and Lucas Van Ness. His reputation as a technician and his ability to maximize player potential have generated optimism in Green Bay, as noted by a former colleague, quote, "If there's ability there, he will find it," suggesting Covington could unlock the pass rushing potential of the Packers' defensive line, which was a weak point in 2024. Additionally, his experience as a defensive coordinator for the 2023 Senior Bowl American team and praise from Bill Belichick highlighted his readiness to contribute to Green Bay's defensive strategy under coordinator Jeff Hafley. So in 2023, he was the Senior Bowl American team defensive coordinator. That's interesting information there, which means at 2023, we'd have to go back a bit. I was wondering there for a second, Tim, if that would have been not Quay Walker, but Edgerrin Cooper's year in 2024. So 2023 probably would have been, I'm trying to think of the defensive players we took that year. We could look at it later. But anyway, so he's got some experience there. DeMarcus Covington's journey from a wide receiver at Samford to a key figure in the NFL coaching landscape is a testament to his dedication and adaptability as he steps into his role with the Packers. Fans and players alike are eager to see how his expertise will shape the team's defensive future. I love the versatility in his coaching style. He's been in that multiple hybrid front, and he's already a defensive line coach. I did not know that. I learned that and putting the article together at UT Martin. So, man, I'll tell you, Tim, if all of a sudden this defensive front takes a huge step forward this year, it's going to be because of DeMarcus Covington for sure, man.
I agree. And especially like the article saying too about, in the pass rush department, if we take a step forward, it's already a success in my opinion. And I think he's just going to do a better job of just kind of, I shouldn't say a better job, a great job of not only, teaching technique and, how to do it, but why and what we're trying to accomplish on that defensive front. I think guys really got to know the goal and the mindset behind it before you even worry about any of the technical stuff. So this would be a massive, massive step forward for this defense. You're talking, we can enter top 5 territory if all goes well. If we're good on the front end, the middle, and the back end, it's going to be really tough to move the ball against this Packers D. So I'm all for Coach Covington here. I can't wait to meet him at camp this summer. It's going to be a blast, man, having him in Green Bay.
Yeah, and I'm eager to get your camp reports. If you guys are not aware, if you're new here to the channel, if it's your first time watching, hit sub. Feel free to join the party here. And if you want to support the channel in a better way, easier way, I could say, just go to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access or scan the QR code in the upper right. It's the best way to support the channel. You get a ton of content like this article and Chalk Talks and things that we're uploading there on the daily. So we greatly appreciate that. I'm excited. One thing I was going to say here is when training camp gets kicked off, for those of you who don't know that are new here, Tim will be boots on the ground at training camp, giving us reports and all that good stuff. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So we like to try to go live during some of those training camp practices. Not Tim. We don't want to get him to get thrown out on his head, but we go live with the show and Tim comes back and joins us and we just kind of give you guys updates on training camp there live in Green Bay. So I'm excited to see his demeanor, Tim, because I remember you talking about Reb and some of the other coaches in the past, their coaching style, right? Yeah. I think what you're going to see with Covington, I don't think he's going to be like – I think he'll still be fire on fire, but I think you're going to see more of a technical teaching standpoint as opposed to some of those other guys. If I remember correctly, Coach Reb almost got kicked out a couple of times for the language, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right, keep the piss hot, as they say, right? I think you're right. I think that's what we just talked about in this article too. Coach Covington being, from a versatile background, and versatile football background. And I think probably has a pretty versatile coaching style, and he's going to connect with his players in different ways than, any other coach does. And it'll be really cool to kind of see how he handles that group. That's where I always hang out on the south end zone there to watch the defense get their work in. So, it'll be fun to see him work, but I think we'll see a little bit of fire and brimstone. But I think you're right, probably more so a technical X's and O's approach. And again, getting these guys to buy in and understand what we're trying to execute is going to be huge, and it'll be fun to see his style out there.
Yeah, definitely. Greg Rice says, "I love Tim on the scene." Me too, man. There's nothing better than it. Too old for this says, "Is Big B allowed at training camp?"
He is. Yes. Yeah. He's good.
He may have an AFA mustache, fake mustache on getting through the gates, but I think he is allowed. Now I got to finally meet Big B at the draft. Tim, you did too. You may have met him before that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Yeah. Good dude.
It was cool running him and Easton Butler and several other people. It was just an awesome experience at the draft. Big B's a legend, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That's the official Packer fan insider right there. Oh, literally, breaking news, breaking into camp. Whatever you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just awesome, dude. It's awesome. All the different personalities around the Packer fandom. Like you got the great Matt Ramage, who's just crack open a beer and let's cut up and talk Packers type guy, very light, hearted. You got Ryan Schlip here with Packernet Podcast, who is Mr. Analytics deep dive. He's going to look at things from an analytical standpoint, which I absolutely love. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't know about Packernet Podcast, scan the QR code in the upper right. They'll send you to Packernet Podcast on your favorite platform. Subscribe to that's where you can find this show, but an even better show in the Packernet Podcast over there, as well as Packernet After Dark, which is a call-in show where you can call, leave a voicemail, and kind of give your take on the Green Bay Packers and whatnot. So, yeah, there we go. This is great. United Bates, Ramage calling out of work when hammered at a Packer game is one of my favorite clips of all time. One of my favorites is when he fell. You remember that, Tim? Just like he's recording, walking in the stadium, all of a sudden it's just
Boom.
asshole over elbow, man. The phone goes falling. You can hear people, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" Evidently slipped on some ice at Lambeau. But, yeah, Ramage calling out of work hammered. If you guys haven't seen that, you could probably find it on X.
Yeah.
My man, literally at Lambeau, people recording him calling in sick to work as he shoots another shot right there in the bleachers.
Was that last season? It might have been from last year or the year before, maybe.
Yeah. I know we had the podcast going, so it was definitely within the last couple of years. It was absolutely. See, y'all got me wanting to look it up here live on the show, but we're out of time. We need to get that teed up and get approval from Ram. We need to get Ramage back on the show is what we need to do. We need to have him in here just for a 15-minute segment to make us laugh a little bit.
Absolutely. It's all football's more fun around people like Matt Ramage. You bump into that guy within 5 minutes, you're laughing and having a good time and just enjoying being a Packer fan. That's who Ramage is, man. It'd be nice to get him back on, Clay. We should make that happen.
Yeah, because I've never seen him or heard him say one negative thing about anybody. It's just, I mean, he's just one of those dudes that he's just upbeat, positive. He's here to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's his line. You know what I mean? I may be. What was it he always says about? I may be a little drunk. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Oh, I'm a bit buzzed up. That's
it.
That's his.
I'm a bit buzzed up. So.
No, Ramage is awesome, man. He's a good reminder that you don't have to take everything so serious all the time, man. You got to have fun. Stay positive and have fun. He is a ride or die for the Green Bay Packers, and I wish we had more fans like him in the fan base for sure.
Yeah, 2-0 for this he says negative things about Bear fans. Yeah, so does Jesus. You know what I mean? Everybody's got something negative to say about Bears fans. Which, by the way, Tim, I roasted one on Twitter earlier today. I don't know if you've seen it or not. This poor guy, he didn't know what he stepped into.
I'll be sure to check it. I'm playing catch up on the feeds right now, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, he's in hiding right now. I'm almost positive, man. My man, here we go. Actually, I've got it right here. Let's pull it up here. Let's have poke a little fun at the Bears fans. This dude just jumped in the mentions. I didn't. You guys know I don't start these conversations with people. They knock on the door and we answer though. He had tweeted back at me and said, you were probably like 10 years old the last time the Packers won anything. LMFAO. Keep living in the past, my dude. And I said, I was 28 years old when the Packers won the last Super Bowl. How old were you when the Bears won in 1985? He went missing, Tim. I'm going to have to put his profile pic on a milk carton, bro. He just disappeared.
It's so funny to see a Bears fan accuse a Packer fan of living in the past.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I still haven't been able to get him to answer the question, and I've been following him around the rest of the day. I'm finding him replying to other tweets, and he just can't seem to answer that question for me, Tim. So,
you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. So, all right, guys. We're out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you would, hit that like button on the way out. Feel free to sub to the channel. Also, check out the Patreon community. It's the best way to support the show. And give us feedback, man. We're always looking to try to give you guys more value, more bang for your buck, all that good stuff. And again, $3 a month gets you access to everything over at Patreon. And we greatly appreciate everybody supporting the show. We are back live on Rumble, so we'll be ready to do the Chalk Talk tomorrow if no other news breaks. We got several Chalk Talks in the hopper ready to go. We're going to break down the tape of some of these rookies. So we wanted to wait till we were back up on Rumble. They got the problem fixed. It was just something technical on their end, link in the StreamYard, and that way we can stay live on Rumble when we end the stream on YouTube to do the. I really like what we're doing there, Tim. That's been a great workaround where we can keep the live crowd involved, but also later on we end up posting those on YouTube as a separate video, so you guys will get them eventually. But it's cool to have everybody's live reaction in the Rumble group there when we do Chalk Talk. So, anything else, buddy? You good?
No, just happy to be here. Thanks for having me again. Looking forward to talking some more ball tomorrow. Be back at it, man.
That's 2-0 for this. Is this show sponsored by Hoover? Because it sucks. Yes, it does. And if you don't believe me, hang around. It gets worse. All right. Now, appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome. Thank y'all so much for your support. As always, man, let's go out there and be the change we want to see in the world. And everybody on the podcast, I don't say this enough. You're the lifeblood of what we do. Thank y'all for listening on the daily. The numbers are always up. And we greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. And obviously Ryan giving us the podcast platform there at Packernet Podcast. So everybody have a great night. Y'all take care. We'll see you.
And we go. We out.
Bye, guys.